the Bleav, the Phoenix Suns podcast, right here on KSRN. With your host, Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual.
Exactly. I'm starting to kind of figure you out a little bit, Flex. Figure you out. But you really believe in this Suns team. You really see something that maybe some of us are not seeing, bro.
And Felix Cruz, Flex from Jersey.
It just feels different. He's the hungriest dog in the race, and that's what I'm saying. That's another dynamic I think people are underestimating, is that we're gonna go in there with a pack of hungry dogs, and the hungriest dog is leading our team.
Time to talk Sun.
I'm going to go down there and destroy everyone in our way. Welcome into the Bleav the Suns podcast. And we are going down there and destroying everybody in our way. Because that's what my man Monty said last year going into the bubble. And it's relevant for this year, too, just in case y'all didn't know that. But welcome into the Bleav the Phoenix Suns podcast. Your host, Earl Burnett. Flex is not in tonight, so I got one of the heavy hitters from one of the popular shows in Arizona going down for the Easy Sports Talk on Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon right there on KDUS on your dial 1060 a.m. My man Javon Adams, a.k.a. the one and only hip-hop man J-luv himself. What's up, big dog?
I'm good.
Studio now.
In studio. I'm gonna be coming through your crib a lot more, man.
Exactly.
Every time I come through, I mean, you got this all. I mean, when you let me in and all that stuff, but it's all good, man. Thank you for letting me in, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It's y'all always welcome in the house, man. You know how it goes.
Yes, sir.
Man, but it's just nice to see you like literally right here in the studio. Because
it's better here because my wife clowns me all the time.
Okay.
You need to do something and get a green screen or something and all that stuff because I got all the computers in the background. But I'm working on that. So I figured, so when we talked earlier today,
right,
and you said, okay, so I said, I'll come through. And you said, come through. I was thinking,
like,
man, he don't want me in his crib.
Pandemic, we ain't worried about that stuff no more. It's all good.
Yeah, but I got to get this green screen worked out so that way it's not an embarrassment to you and what you got going on with your burgeoning empire. And all that stuff,
so, just come on into the house, man. We good.
It's all good.
But shout out to my man Flex. He's probably in the air right now, as far as I'm thinking. I don't know if he touched down now, but from Jersey, he headed this way. He headed to game 2 of the finals. So if you're listening out there, Flex, and you can pick up the signal, let me know and call in, bro.
That's what's up.
But we're gonna do our thing. We're gonna talk our Suns, man, and I'm glad I got you in the house because yeah, in case y'all don't know,
speak on it, man.
My man Javon over here is a diehard Lakers fan.
I am, man. I am.
He's not. I don't know. I haven't seen your demeanor or anything about where you are with this thing.
I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna be real. I'm not mad at it. And just in all transparency, there was a 2-year time span where we were season ticket holders.
Okay.
So it's funny because it was just I just bought 2 tickets. There's a family of 4. I just bought 2 because it was cheaper, and we were up at the nosebleeds and stuff. So my sons would have to kind of Rochambeau for who was going to be going with dad on those times. But seriously, and I say this in all sincerity because I live here in Phoenix.
Right.
If the Lakers aren't in the finals, yeah, why not the Suns? And so I think that's the way it goes. And so I was going to say both my sons, but that would be a lie. My oldest son is definitely all things Arizona, Cardinals, Phoenix.
I'm down with the Suns, man. Kendrick and then they know what's up.
The last time the Suns had an opportunity to go to the conference finals and get to the championship.
93.
That was the that was the
the
Artest
Meta World Peace.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And we were at that game.
And Kobe, you was at that game?
We were at that game. We weren't in the seats, but it was kind of the overflow of sorts.
Right.
Yeah, so we were there, man.
Yeah. Kobe, of all people, shot an air ball. And we were like, are we going to the next game? And this fool under the basket didn't box out. Who does that didn't box out? Was that Jay Rich that didn't box out?
Yes, I think so.
Somebody didn't box somebody out.
You're right. But I'm gonna tell you like this though, seriously, because it's been a bonding moment moments throughout these playoffs. Unfortunately, as the Suns, jettison my Lakers, and my youngest son is a LeBron fan, so now he's a Lakers fan, which I don't really care for that. But the thing is like I'm actually genuinely happy for my oldest son being able to experience the joy of going to the finals and his team seeing that success, and it's great for the Valley, the Suns fans, because I told you I was two years a season ticket holder.
Right.
They were never as loud as they have been during these playoffs, and that is wonderful, man.
I think you're right on, because I have been listening to so many stories on radio and people tell us, I'm not from here either. So I mean, as a matter of fact, I've been a Suns fan since '93. I've always liked that Barkley team, and I hated Jordan, but.
You wasn't rolling with Terry Teagle in the Lakers back in the day?
Hell no.
Sedale 3 full. You better ask somebody. But no, seriously, I'm not gonna do that. Be that dude. But it's what the Suns are doing. I didn't expect them to get this far.
Right.
And as the season began to wear on, and you saw that they were something to not to be messed with. And I am so happy for the Suns fans, for the Valley. It's a wonderful thing, for real.
Yeah, now we just 3 games away, man. That is just incredible to just sit here. I mean, I was just sitting on the couch last night, and I saw the gold ball all over the TV and all over the advertising. I'm like, I see this every year, and I'm going, damn, the Suns are actually in this bad boy. This is something else.
And you know what? And maybe I will be that dude. I'm not watching the Lakers and how old that they looked because Thanos James rolled in and tried to snap his fingers, and now we old as hell, and we have Anthony Davis and LeBron James but the Suns are young, and they are young and they're full of energy, and Chris Paul this year, next season, that might be a different story, dog. Because I told you this multiple times. Yeah, but it's working, and we were at the Larry Fitzgerald softball tournament.
Yes.
Not this past year, but the year before.
Ago,
and I said, I don't think Ayton is that dude, and Ayton is that dude. I have to give credit, and I have to eat crow and say that I think that Devin Booker is a number 1.
Oh, he said it, y'all.
I'm the dude. For those who don't know, I'm the dude that has been saying that Devin Booker is not a number 1.
Live.
I'm that dude.
Radio.
I'm that guy.
My man over here has been calling D Book a 2 or a 1.5 for the last few years, at least a year for sure. Real
talk.
And now he has just saw what this young kid has done in these playoffs, and you got to call him a number 1 now, right?
You got to.
Cool.
You know what I love is that awesome. mid-range game. Him and Chris Paul
together, man. It's awesome.
And my sons always say, Dad, how come you always yell, don't take the 3? I said, because look at how I know that a 3 is more than 2. I'm good on math in that way, but that mid-range, if you can't stop that mid-range game, then don't try to take a 3. So just do what you do.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of people trying to figure that out. And the Bucks last night, man, that was really kind of complexing to see that team not know how, not be prepared. That this team shoots that mid-range from 2 guys, and they couldn't stop neither one of them. They had nothing prepared to stop that. It was really weird.
You know that Budenholzer was going to be your coach.
Deer in headlights.
Yes. Well done. Man. You know Budenholzer was going to be your coach.
Yeah, I remember that.
So aren't you happy that you got Monty Williams as opposed to him, because he delays making those necessary adjustments in a series. Yes, I know that they were in the NBA Finals. I get that, but I think he's really reticent to making those types of adjustments. So we'll see with Game 2. And the thing that gets me is that these playoffs up to this point have been, every other day, and that's been a great pattern and a great cadence. But after Game 2, then it becomes what the finals or what the playoffs have been in years prior, with 3 games or 3 days or 4 days in between, which is unfortunate.
That weekend thing is cool, and it jumps all the way to what, Thursday or Wednesday?
So I think they play Thursday, then again on Sunday, and then Wednesday, and then Saturday.
Crazy.
So which is awful for momentum.
Yeah, that is awful.
Okay,
That is
you know.
awful. But then again, if you need rest and you need guys to kind of get, for Giannis, that's going to be a good thing, because
Yes.
him and that knee, man. Let's talk about that real quick. I mean,
Yes.
come on now. I mean, I played ball back in the days. And back in the day when we didn't care about when you got hurt, you find a way to play the damn game.
Right.
And I've hyperextended my knee several times.
Okay.
And in the same afternoon, ace bandage on that bad boy, and I'm back on the court. Limping a little bit, but I'm back on that court. But so now, to see this dude, I think he said something earlier in his press conference that all of his conditioning and all of his strength training and all helped him in this point of why his knee was able to kind of almost bend and not break.
Right.
So I remember back in the day when I used to do that, because I used to run all the time, I used to lift on my legs all the time, and when I would hyperextend them like that, I would be right back on the freaking court like next day.
Right.
So I kind of see where he is, but this is a different level, of course, and he's a different ball player when it comes to what he's trying to accomplish, but he played a pretty damn good game on a so-called bad knee.
It's the investment. It's the investment because you're paying him so much money. Yes, we know that we're in the NBA Finals and we want to win this, but I also don't want to be without my star player,
right,
for whatever that time frame would be.
Correct.
If he continues to play on this and he's not. And it's really not, let's say, prudent to be able to play on it. So that's what it comes down to.
I think also a lot has to do with the player, of course, because when you look at where he's been and where he's come from and the failures in past years, he doesn't want to give up this opportunity. He wants to be involved and try to get to get this ring. He's been shooting for this thing for what, 4 or 5 years, 4 years now, and failed the last 2 years, and now he finally got here. Now he's going to do whatever it takes to get out there.
I will say this is interesting for both of these franchises. We know that living here in the Valley of the Sun, that with the ownership, and so some of they've been much maligned, and then the first time being in the playoffs in 10, 11 years.
Right.
But this has been starting to be reported more when you look at the Milwaukee Bucks in terms of change of ownership, and there was a time when they had really bottomed out in terms of the lack of interest. There's always give that Jerry Jones quote where they ask him about the Dallas Cowboys, and he says, well, I'm not really concerned about whether they love or hate. I'm concerned about apathy, meaning that they care not either way.
Right.
And so there was a time when there was so much apathy in Milwaukee, and they really had to build that fan base back up. And the fact that they are now with that, what is it, the Deer Village or whatever it is, but the point is that they have these people that are so passionate about the team that they're willing to come out in tens of thousands. So you don't want to, the same way that when LeBron left Cleveland and that district that they had built up is now worthless.
Right.
You don't want that to happen with Milwaukee either. So that's why you make those decisions.
Yeah. Well, what do you think's going on the rest of this series? I mean, do you see them being? I mean, the way Game 1 went down. I know it's always Game 1 is usually always that fill out game,
right? And
teams get to kind of feel each other out. But somebody said something earlier on social media that the Game 1 is a throwaway game. No, it doesn't. It counts in 4 games. You throw one away.
Nope.
It's not guaranteed you're gonna win.
Nope.
The next 3 games.
No.
Or 3 to get the 4. You can't throw
especially with
away.
The amount of time that goes between Game 2 to Game 3 and then 3 to 4. I think that the Suns, I say Suns in 6, only because I think that when you get to this point, it's really going to be difficult to close a team out. But I do think that the Suns will probably be up 3-0 before they win it.
You think that?
Maybe they'll lose a couple games in a row just because of that difficulty of closing a team out. But I think the Suns, I don't think it'll be 1-1 going. And I think it'll be, in terms of the way that it goes, it might be 2-0. Then maybe the Bucks will win and something like that. But I think the Suns will always have that upper hand.
Right.
Because I think that I really do believe that they are a better team because of the way that this team is built. Right. It's impressive. And so hopefully this is something that can be sustained until next
I
season.
definitely, when this thing was getting started, I didn't want to be the guy that was going to say the stuff that people don't want to hear.
Okay.
But I was always sitting back, and Flex knows this. When we have our shows, I'm always that guy saying, there has to be a fail somewhere. This team has been too successful this early, somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've had our adversities, but look at that Milwaukee team. That Milwaukee team has failed to get to this point 3 years.
Right.
And they're finally here. We get here in the first shot, and it's like, now I'm kind of like, okay, wait a minute. They're hungry. That Milwaukee team is hungry.
Yeah.
And so I'm going, man, can we actually win this thing and skip all those steps?
Yeah. Who says that you have to take those steps?
Right, exactly. I guess
and that's
just
the
where
thing.
the old school keeps you at. It keeps you locked in. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. The year before you failed, and the next year you might get a little closer, and then bam, you make it.
Right.
And I think that's always the way it's always been in sports, period.
Yeah.
Not just basketball, but any sport.
Yeah. But I think to that point, though, is that you have to realize that if you, let's say that the Suns don't end up winning, it doesn't mean that you have to make all these drastic changes.
Exactly.
You can come back with maybe the same
unit.
kind of skeleton of the team that you have, and then with that additional experience and maybe that additional hunger,
that's where
whatever that might be,
toward the experience
but
part.
Nah, man, because think about, and I know it was Michael Jordan on this team where I'm about to give this example, but when the Bulls broke through, right? And I know that they had so many different failures, but the Bulls, when they got to the finals, they won. There were circumstances. You talk about the excuses that say that some of the commentators or analysts make about the injuries and stuff. There's always injuries, and it's a war of attrition when you're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter what sport that you're in. So you don't have to apologize for anything.
Right.
If you got that killer instinct and they are a little hobbled, then you take advantage of that and do what you need to do. So it is really wide open for the Suns to be able to win this championship, and it'll be interesting to see.
I'm looking more so to after winning this championship.
Okay.
Now you're going, okay, y'all done messed up and gave this team the experience in their first shot.
Yeah.
And now all they got, when everybody gets healthy and all that, now we know how to win this thing now. So y'all just created a monster now. This team could hold it down the next couple of years.
And they're young again. When you look at, you got Mikal Bridges, Ayton again. Ayton is he's dunking. He's dunking, dog. He's dunking. He had a dunk last night, and I got up off the couch and I said, "Oh!" And my oldest son was of course he was beyond excited. But the thing is that if he can play like this, not only during the playoffs but during the regular season, think about it. They're the number 2 seed in terms of in coming into the playoffs.
Number 2.
So. Goodness gracious. That's there's nothing wrong with that. You can only go up from there and go to a number 1.
Right.
But if you can have that consistency, and if he can, this is one of the things that I will say, that if they need a bucket, they're often relying on that 15-foot jumper by either Chris Paul or Devin Booker.
Right.
If Ayton can develop a halfway decent post game,
right.
Goodness gracious.
I think he has a halfway decent one.
They go away from him very
They don't
quickly.
dump it down to him
Very quickly.
And all of his scoring comes off the pick and roll and off the
dives.
The second chance points, which is fine.
Yeah.
They don't have to go down to him. But I thought at some point in this playoff that it was going to be a game where he was going to hold it down and take over a game offensively.
Right.
But we haven't had to do that. So,
but what did he have? A double last night.
Double last night, and it looked easy, man.
What did it look like? What was it?
22 and 19.
22 points and 19 rebounds. That's wonderful.
That's crazy.
That is
first game in the finals.
Spectacular.
Oh man, let's go to some of the viewers here, listeners here. My man P Dog 006 CP3's effect, baby. Yes. Let's talk about CP3 for a second. So much has been said about his legacy if he had not won this or made it. Man, that dude was a first ballot Hall of Famer regardless, right? In my eyes, at least.
Right.
What's all this talk about? He wouldn't have been a first ballot Hall of Famer if he had not made this champion. There are some excellent, some superstars that haven't made it. a championship.
Yeah.
And they're in the Hall of Fame. So
a lot of y'all folks don't know me, but I'm a dude that likes to give the examples in terms of how things relate to the corporate world oftentimes.
Okay.
So if you can be a wonderful salesperson, you don't have to necessarily always be the salesperson that wins that award to be one of the best salespeople in your vertical, in your office, or whatever the case may be. Right. Chris Paul is that guy. And that, again, this is when, and you know this, so you can hold me accountable to this. When I heard that they made that trade for Chris Paul, I said, this will be great this year. We'll see about next year, because I think he can wear on you. And I did say that if he will either make or break Ayton. And I'm not saying I was prophetic when I said that. But he took to that. Yeah. He took to that push, that prodding. And I think that's important. And so Chris Paul he's excellent. Sometimes he searches for fouls. He hunts for I know you see that. He hunts for fouls sometimes, and that can be a little bit annoying.
Just crafty. I'm sorry. I've watched him in the playoffs almost every time he's been in the playoffs, and always said this, man, I wish we had that dude.
Yeah.
Because I just love, that's old school basketball still.
Yeah.
And the Suns are still playing old school ball. We're the only team that's left in this thing that's playing a little bit of that old school basketball.
Indeed.
So I am so elated. I can't stand, man. You know this probably already. I can't stand. I am so glad all those 3-point shooting teams are gone.
Man.
And I know this one that we playing is another 3-point shooting team. They're gonna go down by that 3-2.
But the Suns sometimes can get a little bit 3-point happy.
They sure do. They do. They get 3-point happy a lot, but they can change up and play D when they have to lock down and play D.
It's true.
Championship defense.
Yes.
Man, the Hawks, just go back. Clippers. I'm so glad Utah didn't come that far where it's like 50-something threes a game. I'm like, come on.
My man Star Saxon.
My old coach, and Sean shout out to Sean McConnell. He's in the comments here.
Yeah.
And I know he's old school too when it comes to being coached by an old school coach in your Yeah, sure. Man, that's crazy.
Most definitely.
I man, my shoes curled like the Wicked Witch of the West.
I heard that.
When I see a fast break 3-on-1 and somebody stop on the freaking 3-point line, oh, it just drives me nuts. Man. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Chris Paul's legacy, I think, is cemented, man. And I'm so glad that we. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You win a championship.
Okay.
Do you go into the Hall of Fame as a Sun? I mean, you win a championship.
I was about to say no, just offhand, but you can't. If you win a championship, that trumps a lot, right? Man. It's not as if you were on the bench, kind of like how Mitch Richmond was when he played with the Lakers.
Yeah,
that
says a lot, man. I'm like, do you go in as a Sun?
I bet you go up in the Ring of Honor. He'd be the one, sure, especially if he gets the MVP, the Finals MVP.
Yeah, I think he's got that cemented if he keep playing the way he playing.
Yeah,
but another thing too, as far as that '93 team, the Barkley team that made it to the championship and lost to Michael.
Yeah,
they're trying to compare this team to that team. I said that's not a comparison. First of all, because that's two styles of basketball.
Yeah,
that team didn't play no defense. Let's just call it like it is. That team played. No, they just wanted to outscore you, and that was it.
Marley was one of their best defenders, and even you would hear the tales of him calling out "help, help" when he was guarding Jordan. So that's not. But to your point, though, again, it's interesting because it goes back again. I mentioned the youth, and that's one of the things that's really stuck out to me about the Phoenix Suns is because, of course, with Booker is what, 24, 25. So it's not as if he's old, but he's been 5-6 seasons in. But then when you have Mikal Bridges, you have I know I'm going to be missing on. So you have Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson. Yeah. So it's these picks have ended up coming through when we look at a few years earlier when we had Dragan Bender and such and Chris that just didn't, but it was they had all the potential in the world, but you just never know once you make that pick,
right?
And that money comes and the true character of the person comes out,
Right.
how they're going to react to having that money. And
I'm
thankfully,
glad you're on those lines because remember, as Sean is saying it, and he's done many shows with me, and he does the Casual Sports show still, and he knows I have rode Aiden in the ground.
Yeah, man.
When it comes to this, and I've even put the word soft next to his name, and that's some things you just don't do sometimes.
I know,
but. Dude, like I said, I can't help where I come from with basketball, man.
I know.
And I see big man, and I just don't see this big man playing at the dang on logo, trying to shoot a three. I don't see big man sitting out there, can't dunk when he get a rebound and go back up strong. I just can't see those things together. But the way
he's been dunking since the first round.
I
said dunking on my team.
Day one in the playoffs, you thought you would think it would have been a progressive thing up until he started day one. And it just kept playing. I mean, he probably only had one bad, mediocre. Let's can't call it a bad game. It was a mediocre game. And that was because they're not getting him the ball. But so still, it was a mediocre game. But it's incredible what this kid has done. And it's incredible how Booker and CP3 have groomed him to get ready for these playoffs. That's what it was all about when they brought CP3 in. It's not about this regular season. And I always wonder, why is CP3 and them not on him and jumping on TV where we can see it, so we can suffice us to say that we know somebody's getting on this kid. They was behind the scenes riding this dude.
Yeah, man. And thankfully he was receptive to the coaching that these two players were doing, because it was listening to some of the radio shows today where they were mentioning that one of the great things was that Monty Williams doesn't have to do that because of Chris Paul and Devin Booker. So it's great that you have Booker and Paul as opposed to just Booker being on them all the time.
Right.
And that it's worked out. There were times during the season, and I mean, you watched the games where you just wonder where the heck he was.
Where?
And
what is
when
he
the
doing?
playoffs came, oh my goodness.
Yeah, he just turned into a different player. I don't even recognize this dude. It's like, I mean, now remember his statement when he got drafted. We're gonna be Shaq and Kobe 2.0. And he's starting to make some hay with that. Look,
we're gonna hold you to it. We're gonna hold you to it.
Make a little hay with that, man. I'm like, damn. Okay,
yeah, man.
Good. But this is 22 years old. He's doing this in his first finals, his first playoff run, his first playoff taste.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what this kid's gonna look like 2-3 years from now? Oh my God.
Yeah, it is. If I'm a Suns fan, it makes me. It opens up the possibilities, because you haven't had somebody that can be dominant in that way. And you had hoped, of course, because you chose him number one. And so when you look at where he's at and where Doncic isn't, that speaks volumes.
It's going to be about championships.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I love when the listeners and come in with the comments. My man here, Johnny, good point here. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
He says the beginning of a dynasty. I think we might be a little premature with that, but let's grab the first one though, Johnny. We get the first one in our pocket.
Right.
But like I said, Aiden is just getting started.
Right.
I can imagine now, after seeing what he's done now, what he's going to look like when he's seasoned and he's at his prime.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he could probably hold it down. Him and Booker.
Here's the thing.
Couple of years.
Here's the thing that you want to be able to. So yes, you want to close the deal. So you're up 1-0. You got 3 to go. You get this championship. Then you can start talking about all of the opportunities lost if you don't win 2 or 3 or 4.
Correct.
Because again, with this core, and again, if Chris Paul sticks around for another season, right?
And he will.
And look about how he's hopefully grooming campaign.
Oh, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep that dude.
Yeah. And so what you have to do is continue to rely upon your general manager to make the necessary to make the picks. Now, and keep this in mind, because again, being a Lakers fan, I'm the Jerry West guy, right? And he made as good of a GM as he was, he made a lot of bad choices. Right. So that happens with any general manager. Right. It doesn't matter what sport, it doesn't matter what team, whatever that is. You just hope that if Book can be, again, go to a point Book for a certain, especially if he's able to count on maybe Cam Johnson,
yes.
in terms of growing, and Mikal Bridges growing.
Right,
So
right.
that enables him to be able to pull back just slightly and focus on being more of a playmaker
Right.
if and when Chris Paul leaves.
Right.
So it's just different things that you're trying to be able to put in place. And there's definitely, I think, room to be hopeful when it comes to the Suns, and hopefully
That's a good point. I like
the
that.
deal.
That's right on point. What constitutes a dynasty? I mean, how many championships? What would make you say dynasty? 3, 2?
I think,
or is it just the winning the winning perception that you're always going to be in the mix and always be there?
I think the line, it kind of moves a little bit at times, but let's say if in a 4 or 5 year span you win 3,
okay,
you're a dynasty.
Okay.
If when you look at that's
not that far off though, man. If you think about it though, man.
it's the West is always challenging, but I think that the Suns can have an opportunity.
I'm gonna do a little bit of devil's advocate. This might sound like something Sean would say. But we missed our opportunity to have the guy ready for when Chris does leave.
Okay.
We drafted Jalen Smith last year. We should have drafted Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay.
If we had that kid already set to go, I would be sitting there going, Dynasty getting ready to rock, because this dude behind Chris is going to be better, because this kid is unbelievable.
Right. What you would hope is that because think about it, if you're Chris Paul and you're coming in trying to win your first championship,
right?
You're not worried about grooming somebody to be you trying to win this championship. Y'all come along with me. We all play our roles. We all play our parts.
That's probably where they were headed because of that. You're right. That's a good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that. Why they never got a point guard.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. But he's only going to be around, I can't say no more than 3 years. He's going to be at least 2 more years, I would say.
Hopefully, because what is he? He's under
36,
contract, right?
He's under contract for at least the first 2. He can opt out next year, which I doubt he's going to. I mean, he'll probably opt out and we'll match it, because Sarver's been on record saying, hey, he's worth every penny. I don't care what it is. We're going to get him back.
It depends on how. And again, I am projecting, because I think it would be great if the Suns win the championship.
Right.
So they win the championship. So let's suppose that they do that.
Okay.
How well? What does success do to the team? Does it make Ayton say, I got it, dog? I
Leave
know.
Me alone now.
I know what I'm doing now. I get it. And so let's say if he does that he still continues to perform at that high level. Then and then some of the other players are saying, I get it. You've taught me well. Let me go. It's that parent that says, No. You need to make sure that you tuck your shirt in. You need to make sure you go to the No. I got it. I'm good now. That's where you wonder what's going to happen.
And then the success could breed a whole bunch of other bad things too, man. Like
you never know how success changes people.
We've seen that a lot.
Yeah,
we've seen that. Maybe not here, but I'm talking about it in sports general.
Kyle Kuzma.
When you see that team that gets successful, the next thing you know, it's like the team's breaking up because this guy thought he was the more popular guy. I mean, it was very, very refreshing to see Booker take a back seat to Chris Paul.
And Booker's willingness, not ability, but willingness to say, I get it, as opposed to, because again, being with Kobe and Shaq always went at each other all the time, because Kobe couldn't say, all right, I'll let you do your thing.
Right.
I know I'm important, I'll let you do your thing.
Right.
And Booker's willingness to be able to do that, I think that has been probably one of the best kept secrets of this team's success.
Let's talk a little bit about Booker, because this kid is he's way beyond his year. He's way beyond where he is age wise and in his abilities in basketball, because he just gets it. The dude is rocking at his press conference a 93 Suns. It's like this dude gets the old school. He knows what made him.
Somebody had to pimp him to that. Somebody. I mean, I'm not going. I mean, it's good. It's a good way that you did that.
Melvin done that.
You got to give credit to that. But he wasn't saying, "What can I rock? That's old school Suns." No, but that's a great look. And what did that do? That ingratiated him even more with the fans, and then with the media as well, saying, "Look at how he's a fixture in this community."
Right.
Yeah. Great look for sure.
I think he's going to be the man here. He wins this championship. Does he surpass Charles? And does he surpass
Oh yeah,
Nash. Does he surpass?
yes.
I mean, yes, he won the damn shit.
All right. So I'm not, I used to do the focus with Jay, with Jay. So I'm not gonna get too much. A lot of folks, those Steve Nash ones, he won't surpass. He won't be better than those people that love Steve Nash. But I would say that if you're being true to what's going on here, yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely. And I think any Suns fan can really choke on that one for a minute. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, Nash, the Barkley years. I mean, this team would be.
How long was Barkley here? 2 years, 3 years?
I think he was here for 4, actually.
Was he?
I think it was 4 years.
But he might have. So Booker has gotten him to the championship, to the NBA Finals, same way that Barkley has. So you think about what he had. Kevin Johnson. Barkley had Kevin Johnson. We got Chris Paul, right?
Correct.
If Booker wins a championship, all bets are off. Right?
All bets are off. Man.
Maybe he'll open up a Booker's as opposed to a Marlon. I don't know. He rolling with them old schools. You see how he pull up in them old schools, man. Pull up in them Grand Nationals and all that stuff when he roll into the games, man. That's what's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing, though, that kind of disturbs me a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed this during these finals or during these playoffs. That anytime our games were televised with Mark Jackson and what's the dude's name?
Van Gundy.
Van Gundy.
Yeah.
They don't give us a lot of love, man. They do a lot of talking about the other team. Have you noticed that?
A little bit.
Oh, man, it's driving me nuts. That's like, we just kicked their ass. And all you can talk about is Giannis and his block. They down 10 freaking points. The block was amazing. He came all the way from here, all the slow motion, and they showing it on the TV over and over and over. I'm like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I can see a little bit of that.
After the game is over with, the Bucks need to, the Bucks this, the Bucks like, okay.
Yeah.
Y'all still sleeping on us.
If nothing else, I would be the coach that's playing that on repeat in the locker room, so that everybody stays
that's
focused.
Probably what you got that scowl on Booker's face when he's out there, because he's like, he's getting disrespected. He's been disrespected since he's been in this league.
And I'm saying this for a reason, because I know that Devin Booker is a really big Kobe fan, and so there's that clip of Kobe where they won their final championship with Kobe, and they said, yeah, you're up 1-0. How do you feel? He says, there's nothing to smile about. Because they asked him, why aren't you smiling? Right. And he said, what are you smiling about? We're just up 1-0. I mean, there's still work to be done. And I think that's the mentality that Devin Booker has.
Oh, yes, he has that mentality. Yeah, that's for sure. Shout out to my man, Paul Richardson from the Cage Show in the house.
What's good?
Love it, bro. I got to get you in here too, man. In studio, not on no phone, man. That's my son's dude right there.
Other side of the universe.
Yeah, I know where the brother live at. I know where he's at. Mr. Coach over there, winning championships already. So now the Suns is following after Richardson's team down there. Shout out to Paul.
Indeed.
But let's talk a little bit about contracts next year. And I know Paul can attest to this, because he's Mr. Suns narcotic. This the dude that just got it all over the place, like Nino in the he got it all over the place. He already what they say, don't what they say, don't something on your own supply. Don't get on your own supply. Yeah, he's already done that 3, 4, 5,000 times. So but anyway, next year is going to be interesting, because you were talking earlier about Cameron Payne, and I'm looking at that kid and I'm going, that kid's made himself a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I put him and Reggie Jackson in the same category.
Reggie Jackson was balling.
Going to get paid, man. Going to get broke off.
He can walk across the hall.
Oh, don't even say it. Don't say it.
We'll take that, dude.
God. And you know that will happen. You know that will happen.
We don't got no cap space.
Something like that will happen, because that team needs 3-point shooters. Bad as
we just need somebody just rugged.
You need somebody that's got a heart.
Speak on it.
But anyway,
yes, sir.
Y'all got some overrated dudes and always been overrated. But anyway, that's another story.
Yes, we do.
They get a lot of people that cross that street though, and go from one side to the other side.
Keep crossing, man.
And that might not be a bad pick, but
you have to pick up some options.
Yeah,
options are due for Ayton and for Johnson. No, Ayton and Bridges, yes. And then of course with campaign, he's gonna get paid.
And so can we handle that and keep Chris Paul and have 3 almost, because we're going to make Ayton's going to get the max.
Yeah.
Ayton's going to get the max. because he's earned that.
Yeah.
I remember the talk 2 months ago, like, you can't pay this guy the max. He's not worth the max, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Paul, I said it. He's worth the max. He's worth the max, every damn penny of it. Yes, I have eaten crow already, and I know you're on here just to see that. But yes, I have already let that go, that I have been the one that was riding that kid like crazy. But he has shut everybody up.
Right.
He even put my man Dan Bickley had to come out and be like, I was wrong. He was even talking about trading the dude. I didn't go that far.
Yeah.
I didn't go that far.
I'm happy that because I was hard on him too, and so I'm happy to be wrong.
Yeah, I'm happy to be wrong. And then that number one pick looks like the number one pick, but
yeah, man,
he about to get that max, and so then you're gonna have a super team, 3 max contracts on one damn team almost.
Well, you could take that Warriors route where they just in the tax. I mean, the number of people that you're able to bring in, it limits you that way.
Right.
But if you want to keep the core together, but I don't know. I wonder if Sarver would say, let's keep it all together. Will he say, we're going to keep you, Chris Paul. We're going to keep this, and we're going to let some other folks go. But what a great problem to have once in the afterglow of what we would hope will be the coronation with the championship.
The core of the team, Booker, Ayton, CP3, Bridges has to stay in this core. And I think we got Crowder for another 2 years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there you go. You got those that core is solid.
Yeah.
Everything after that, we might have to do some moving around. I
don't want to keep Kaminsky. Get him back in the starting lineup.
Nah, Kaminsky and Sarge are going to be out the door.
Yeah, unfortunately with his ACL.
I still want to keep Payne though. There's something about that kid that just said you can't let him just walk.
That's that dude that just, hey man, you just stepped on my Nikes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you just stepped on my Nikes.
Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson's part of the core too.
That's the thing. When you have that many talented young players, you can't keep them all, or can you? It becomes how creative can you be with your roster.
The guys you drafted, at least you do have them for the whole rookie contract.
True.
And you got Cam Johnson, that's part of the core too. I mean, serious core. That kid is amazing. He is the most calmest kid I've ever seen to be in his first playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, his demeanor doesn't change.
Yeah.
He's just out there, okay, I'm coming back from food poisoning. Bang, knocking it down. Oh, I'm coming back off a bad shooting because my wrist was, bam, and playing D like crazy.
Yes, indeed.
And that call he got on that foul against Giannis last night, that should have been a jump ball because he was right there holding the ball right there with Giannis. Well, this kid ain't scared of nothing. But yeah, he's part of the core too. But we got to find a way to keep Payne. I don't know why. I just think that his dynamic that he brings to this team,
especially to that second unit.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he uplifts that second unit to the point where he holds it down.
He does.
But not only that, he changes the whole dynamic of the game, the whole style.
Because he plays different than Chris Paul.
Right, because Chris Paul's going to come in and be that general. Sometimes he'll slow it down to the point. Payne is like 100 miles an hour and running. Just boom, boom, boom. And that southpaw stuff, you can't stay in front of that kid.
Yeah.
So I hope we don't lose him. But it's going to be too many balls to juggle.
But I'm telling you, isn't it better to have those questions after a parade?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you can get up there on the podium, he ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. You'll be here next year, like BA did with all the Bucks. They're all back.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll happen. But Dario, oh my man, P Dog said Dario's a keeper. Why is that?
I don't know. I think you can find there as you start to get towards the bottom. When you look at a Saric, when you look at a Kaminsky, you look at some of those other players that don't get as much playing time or have a lot of those DNP coaches' decision. You should be, and I say should. Then you're relying on your GM to make these decisions to be able to find some of those comparable or similar pieces to be able to install, and that's what it comes to. You have to trust if he can put a championship team together now, that he should be able to hopefully keep it going.
You got to also kind of ask, hopefully, with your fingers crossed, that Sticks is learning, and the things that Dario has done. Maybe you can kind of throw a little bit more on the plate of that rookie and get him seasoned to be ready. But I mean, as far as Dario, in this series, I really don't think he's that big of a deal in this series because
it's going to be interesting to see because we know we won't have him the rest of this series because of that. So who's going to step up? Is it going to be Nader? Is it going to be Six? I don't know.
Nah, they're not going to throw that rookie out there. Yeah. They're not going to throw that rookie in there. Right
so
now.
Then it becomes, what do you do?
Because now the rotations
Frank,
are off. Of course, going to be the first person off the bench, but then that's a liability.
About that, dog?
But I like Craig. Give Craig the minutes. Because at least you know he's going to stay in front or behind or do whatever. He's going to battle. Craig's going to battle.
Right.
And the thing about Dario, the reason why he got hurt, he's trying to do stuff he's not supposed to do. That's not your game. What are you trying to run and take somebody off the field? That's not your game.
You can't be mad at somebody. I mean,
no, but look,
that's the thing, man.
His game is bang down in the post, get some rebounds, and score underneath, and of course, an occasional 3-pointer off. But to get the ball at the top of the key and to try to dribble fast down, you're slow to begin with. Maybe I'm just seeing this a different way, but he shouldn't have been trying to do that anyway. He can't even stop on the dime.
You can't be mad at my man because he might, in practice, you never know. He might be taking fools off the dribble with his slow self. And so he thinks, man, nah, today, in this moment, right here in game one, I'm taking some fool off the dribble. And then that when they was taking him back, I told you not to take him off the dribble. Try to tell you, fool. But hopefully he heals up quickly. So yeah.
But yeah, those wings we got, man, every last one of them are effective. So I mean, at this point going forward in this series, I throw Craig out there a little bit more.
Okay.
Throw Craig out there a little bit more, and we got a little bit of time left. I want to talk a little bit about my man, Jay Crowder.
What? No points, but still had an impact in the game.
The only guy that has finals experience didn't show up on the offense. But see, it's not always about offense. That's what I want to let everybody know.
Right.
Because I got a guy on social media hit me up saying, "Can somebody get Jay Crowder off the court?" That dude is. I said, "Look, calm down. Jay Crowder is Jay Crowder. We know he's going to have his up and downs when it comes to shooting, but Jay Crowder gives you a lot more than just offense." And I like how he sat in there and battled with Giannis, and he battled with LeBron. He battled with all the big dudes, the big superstars. He's going to sit in there and battle with them guys and give your team an attitude. And I like that. And having him on the court, because you know at some point he's going to pop out of that.
Yeah, man.
But here's the thing about Crowder, though. One thing I don't understand, I already know when he's going to have bad days.
Okay.
I know when, because when he catches the ball, if his feet are shuffling and he's leaning and doing, set your feet and shoot every time. Just watch. When he gets focused, he stops, he sets his feet, and then he shoots. When he traveled 3 times last night. They didn't call him.
Yeah, I saw a couple.
And when his feet are shuffling and he's just all over the place, leaning and all that, he's erratic. But when he sets his feet, that's when you get Crowder back.
So the Suns had a lot of went to the line,
and he was the only one that missed his.
No, but But my question is: so, given the fact that he had 1 point, he was 0 for 8, 1 point, 0 for 5 from 3. Mm-hmm. Does that alarm you at all? Because you think that you would imagine that in the media that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be saying, "Yeah, we thought we should have went to the line more," or that whatever it is, or they went to the whole line a whole lot, and so there's going to be some type of correction or return to the mean. The fact that they had the number of free throw attempts in terms of right in front of me here. I don't have right in front of me, but when we're looking
26.
at that, 26, 25 for 26.
Right.
So will that be something that they can repeat if the refs are therefore trying to look and not trying to call the game as aggressively in the Suns' favor?
I did a podcast from California. One of the guys that's trying to get on his station. I'm going to tell y'all about him later. But he's getting on the station. I was on his podcast, and I told him something exactly about that.
Okay.
I said, free throws are going to be critical in this series. Mm-hmm. Now, they got 26. It doesn't matter how many they're going to give the Suns. I guarantee you that percentage is going to be that high every time.
Okay.
Every time. This is the best free throw shooting team left in the playoffs.
Oh, for sure.
And been the best free throw shooting team in the league, period.
For sure.
So now if it comes down to rough ball and you got to throw dudes on the line in crunch time,
Okay.
I'd rather have these Suns on the line anytime.
Anyway. I just wonder if they're going to get to the line of the same frequency.
It's going to change. It's
Right.
going to change because Giannis is going to get a little bit more aggressive. I believe Holiday's going to be more aggressive.
Hold on real quick, though, dog. Giannis, the same way that I know when LeBron is going to drive is when he backs up and he does this. If y'all watching, he does the thing with his jersey and then he starts to run straight forward. That's the same thing that Giannis does without the jersey rubbing.
Right.
Come on, man. You got to do something. Somebody needs to tell you in the offseason, switch up your game, dog.
Right.
Because that's why he is, for as dominant as a force as he is, that there have been times, and this is his first time to the finals, and we know that he's been shut down before. Shut down by the Heat last season, is that because he's doing the same trick over and over again.
Over and over, yeah.
So
so he's got to be really careful because, like you said, it's going to change.
Yeah.
Crowder has to be really careful because he's going to start picking up quicker fouls because they're going to start giving Giannis that whistle a little quicker.
Only 2 personal fouls in game one.
It's going to be a lot quicker.
To your point, yes.
But if the game comes down to last night, I was watching that game. Every foul that they fouled Giannis was a good foul. I was like, good foul.
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, the 2 that Crowder had, I think Ayton fouled him a couple of times, or whoever fouled him were good fouls.
7 for 12 from the free throw line.
He was getting up there in the countdown, started going 1, 2. So and then when it gets to a crunch time, this series is going to start having crunch.
You start throwing that ball. You don't want that ball.
You don't want that rock in the end. But
Middleton does.
We got dogs that'll get on that line and be like, yeah, I got you. Bam, bam. And so I'm good with that. And that's what it's going to come down to in this series. But yeah, you're right. It's going to change because coaches get to complain. I heard on here somebody on the comments here said that Budenholzer's already complaining about the difference in calls.
Disparity, right?
Yeah, disparity.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're right. It's going to change, and the referees are going to bend to the other team here and there. But that just says to me,
as long as you don't get Foster. Y'all people watching right now know exactly what.
I think he's next. I think Yep.
He coming out the tunnel calling fouls on Booker and Chris Paul.
Oh, he's coming.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and that's another part of tomorrow's game that has to be really, you got to pay attention to that.
That is something that should be encouraging because they are winning in spite of
him. Yeah, but we still got to be careful. But
you got to still stay the course and stay focused. Yes,
and go back and forth with this dude and just give him a reason to try to just get you all game long with.
True that.
But I look at the next game. The next game is going to be what this series is going to look like going for the rest of the series because both these teams got a chance to fill each other out. One got smacked in the mouth. They got to come back and really show up and play because the Bucks are a very good defensive team.
Right.
I was listening to Bucks radio.
Okay.
And I like to do that a lot just to hear what's going on. And the word around town over there is that we're in trouble. Not the Suns, but the Bucks fans and all the talkers saying, I don't know how we can win this series. They're all saying this. I don't know how we can win this series. They do. If Lopez plays off, Chris Paul's gonna have a field day on that dang on mid range. If Lopez goes up, DeAndre Ayton and gonna move the ball, and Booker and DeAndre Ayton down on the block gonna kill us. How do we win this series? All that's going on around there in Milwaukee right now.
Remember when you watched? Because I know you've seen this. It's a great movie. House Party.
Oh yeah.
When Bleav would say switch,
switch,
and that's what Lopez and anybody that Chris Paul gets on switch. That's what's going to be,
dictating
man.
It. Oh, yeah. Let's just rub him real fast. There go Lopez again.
Switch!
That was amazing. So man, I don't know what can they do other than get more aggressive and like I said,
Suns by 5.
Holiday's going to get more aggressive, and he's going to probably
He has to.
He's probably going to be putting his head down, going straight to the rack. So
yeah, 4 for 14. He will be more aggressive.
Those 3 guys out of the equation. I think we can neutralize Giannis because Giannis really don't scare me.
Giannis going to put up at least 20 shots.
What I mean by that is, okay, he's going to make his shots. We know that.
Yeah.
He's not going to hold him down. We're not going to stop him.
Yeah.
But if we can neutralize those role players and he scores his 25, 30 points, they can't beat us.
Yeah, if you can close out, especially PJ Tucker but he only had 2 3-point attempts.
Yeah, and those are guys that killed the Hawks.
Right.
Tucker, Connaughton, that Forbes dude be knocking down threes. I'm like, who is that dude? Where'd he come from? Yeah. But this Suns team knows how to close out on that 3-point line when they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So you're gonna battle, and we battling Giannis. Giannis is earning every damn point he has to get. We're not just giving him anything.
Yeah.
He's earning it. Crowder's making him earn it. He ain't going straight through Crowder. He had a couple of offensive fouls. Crowder's going to stand there. Crowder's a big dude,
and that's what you want to see because you gonna take your 4 steps back to run forward. No,
right?
Dog.
Like I'm supposed to just back up.
I'm right here,
dog. Like I'm scared because you take your travel backwards, then come forward.
True that, but it's going to be interesting to see the number of field goal attempts again because Middleton had 26 field goal attempts and Giannis had 11. Of course, coming back from the knee issue.
I kind of agree here with P-Dog. Middleton doesn't really scare me that much either because jump shots are fickle. Jump shots gonna fall one night and not another night. What does he have if his jump shot's not going?
He has a decent mid-range game.
Yeah, but that could really be not falling too.
Yeah, that's true.
You got a good long, lengthy defender that's getting that hand in that face, and that mid-range is bouncing off the rim every once in a while. Now what do you fall back on?
Yeah. And if I look at what Middleton 6 for 12, 5 for 12 in terms of in 3-point attempts. So if you just if you cut down on your 3-point attempts and go to the rim a little bit more and take those mid-range, that's what you have to be. Yeah, that's what you have to be wary of.
But this is basketball. What Flex like to call them, the basketball gods. This is part of that equation. You live by the 3, you're gonna die by the 3. And here's the last team that's gonna die by the 3-point shot, the Milwaukee Bucks. I guarantee it. They're gonna die by that 3-point shot at home. Probably, we might even sweep this series.
You bring up a good point because the game. I know that the Bucks are in the finals, of course. But what's interesting to me is that they had that game where they destroyed, where Lopez was on the block and taking advantage of fools. Yeah. What they do the next game? Nah, that worked for us. We go back to take these
Lopez
threes. Yeah. So
when I see Giannis shoot the 3, we'll live with that. If he make it a minute, okay, who cares? Let him keep shooting it.
Yep.
So,
indeed,
man, this has been cool, Jay. Man, I appreciate you coming in, and I'm gonna try to hit another one of these shows before tomorrow's game, like an hour before, so we can do a preview. So I might have Flex sitting over here. No, I'm not. No, I'm not tripping. Flex is going to the game tomorrow. My bad. So if you be available to come in, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
But game 2, y'all. Suns could be going up 2-0 in this one, or I can't see a scenario where they're not up 2-0.
Got to be going up 2-0.
Yeah, I can't see. I mean, unless there's somebody just way off.
The next game ain't until next Thursday.
Basically, almost. True that. This has been the Bleav the Suns podcast. My man Javon Adams from the Easy Sports Talk sitting in. And we appreciate all of you guys out there on the comments and listeners listening in. You guys make the show. Appreciate you. We will get back here tomorrow. And let's get this thing done. Suns at 5. That's going to be the prediction. Suns
I got 6, but either way, if the Suns win, it's all good.
5.
Are you good?
Peace out, y'all.
Follow down and goes for 8. Big guy. Bridges picks the pocket with a thunderous left hand. Booker racing to the rack, scoops and scores. Wow, he's the base beyond. From far away, Booker drills it. Think about it.
Oh no, he did. Booker's not right. Finish. Chris Paul is not right. CP3, stop it.